smallest engine. Yeah, that's the smallest engine. Ours is already 400 odd. So that's fine. I could sell that and replace it, or I could replace the Puma with that, but really not so much. So November 3, we move right along. What is a work of New Holland? Oh, sorry. I believe the fourth one was the New Holland square baler. This thing. It's a square baler rather than a round baler. And I am considering one of those would be a good thing to have. What is the value of a new one? I don't absolutely need a square baler right now. 167.5 new, and it's 15%. The thing is, I'm looking 15% off. It's not really worth the 15% for the old age. And you look at it, it's 45 months old. It's going to wear out a lot quicker than a brand new one. And for 15%, 160,000, yeah. What's that? That is I've got one of those. That's a beet harvester. Ooh. So anyway, nothing coming up on sales. It's November 3, so we'll go to November 4. I've got a Krone round baler, so I don't absolutely need a baler for my own use. I'm just thinking that having a square baler on the farm means I can do square baling for contracts. And as we've already noted, contracts on this is quite lucrative. Okay, there is a small grain cart that holds 5.6 litres. The MacDon, don't need that. I have one of those, so I don't need that. This thing is that, I think that's the biggest harvester around, but my John Deere harvester is good enough. This is a tree cutter. I'm not doing trees this time out, and that's a 6-metre cultivator. We got a big cultivator, don't need that. So we're up to November 4. Let's check on the animals before we skip next month. Sheep have food. Horses still have food. Chickens still have a lot of food. Cows are already halfway down. This is why I sometimes sell the cows. See, these are at 0. They've just had babies. So we could sell the 27-month-old cows, and I have 6-month-old Anguses, so they're going to be a while earning money. So let's go over to the cow shed, and we'll sell the 27-month cows, because by doing that, it makes vacancies for new animals to be born, and those 27-month-old cows have just had babies, so they've effectively replaced themselves already. So selling 1,500 per cow. So that's an extra 14,000, and okay, and those 10 more sell. So it saves on the food eating thing, and also that's as high a price as I can get for them. They will start losing value after 24 months. So 24 months is actually the peak. I also have to pay a fee to ship them to market, and for each cow I sell, that fee increases per cow. So anyway, that now makes room for more cows in the shed. I see how many I've got. I now have 120 out of 173 that this shed supports. They'll eat the food slower, and yeah, we'll make more cows as time goes by. So typically from now onwards, I don't buy new cows. I'm going to let them breed. I'm going to sell off the top and just make room for more cows to be there. The biggest one is sheep. On some farms, sheep breed so quickly that you fill up the pen in no time. And then all you're getting is money for the wool, which isn't a large amount. However, sheeps, hi baby sheeps. If we go in here and look at the selling, so 5 months old. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong place. So, no reproduction. So 15 months old, we're already 60% of the way through reproduction. 17 months old, they just had a baby. At 18 months old, so they're about 5 months. Every 5 months, the sheeps will make new babies. These are worth $5.25, these are worth $5.50, these are worth $6.50, but the barn's full. So maybe if we sell 10 of those, it's an extra 6,000. It's not a lot of money, but like I said, you don't get a lot of money for the wool either. And just selling 20 sheeps, they're still going to produce a ton of wool all the time. And let's check the goats. I could sell 10 goats too. See, these are 40% of the way through a reproduction cycle, but no, I'm going to keep the goats. We're going to try and bias it more so that we increase the number of goats we have on the farm. So we get more goat milk. You okay? Hi sheep. Hi little sheeps. Hi big sheeps. Okay, so we've made some vacancies. So we've made money from selling the sheep, and we also make money from selling the wool. But over the course of a year, especially if in earlier versions of Farm Sim, the only seasons was a mod, and it affected a lot of how the animals worked. So sheep only produced wool in spring, and they ate food all through the year. So at the end of spring, what you wanted to do was to sell your excess sheep, and then next year, every sheep will have another sheep, baby sheep. So if your field could take 500 sheep and you had 500 sheep, at the end of spring, you sell 250 sheep, make a ton of money. By spring the following year, your sheep pen would be full with 500 sheep. And then they would produce all the wool over January, February, March, April, May, and then you would sell 500 sheep and all the wool that they'd created. And so you doubled your income at that point just by selling half your sheep every year. It was a wonder. So I do, every so often we go out to the shed and sell some things, because they make more. All of them make more. Chickens always make more. And it's also a good way to control the amount of food you're going through, because obviously with the sheep, in previous iterations of Farm Sim with the Realismus Seasons mod, you kind of don't want your sheep around during summer and fall. They drink a lot of water in summer, and they eat a ton of food throughout the year, and you can just save half your food usage by selling them. Okay, what have we got today? We have a tedder, okay. A log grabber, yeah. a forage thing. So you can put that on the front of a very, very big tractor, 375 horsepower, and then put a forage header on it and do the foraging thing. That is a square baler, isn't it? No, that is a round baler with a wrapper on the back. Don't need one of those. This, this is what I was wanting. Oh. And a 6R. This is the doesn't need blah blah blah, does corn, sorghum, sunflowers, soybeans, sugar beets, cotton. Oh, it's time to go shopping, I do believe. So we'll go there. We'll do that. We'll buy that. Buy. Yes. And I need to go find me a tractor. Oh. Actually, no, this will work. It is December, isn't it? It's December 1. Okay. So, time to move the sugar beets down to town. So what I need to do is, the red one is the planter. This planter is just small. I'm not kidding, it's tiny. I mean, it's a good width. It takes fertilizer, which I don't really need it to. And not there, there. Where's planters? Planters are here. Don't have that one. This is the one we have. 2,660 litre tank, of which I think about 800 is seed. The rest is fertilizer. So really, to do the fields I have here, I have to go around with a cart with seed in the back just to keep it stocked up. And I have to cultivate the ground before I can seed with it. So the one we just bought, I can just load it up with seeds and drive out into the field and plant everything. I don't have to cultivate year on year, which is going to improve my environmental score on 90% of my arable fields, because 90% of my arable fields are planted, not seeded. So we're going to sell this. It is empty. I'm not going to take the other thing back to the farm right away. So we're going to lease a sugar beet trailer and go transfer all the sugar beets down to the rail yard. Or I could sell them at the bale shop. We'll take a look at how much money we make from chopped sugar beets. The other thing I'm going to do, if I remember, is the very last load of sugar beets, I'm going to try and empty it as cut sugar beets into the storage. I don't think the storage will take cut sugar beets. I think you have to store full-sized ones. So now the other thing about that half pipe, the half pipe will take any material. Actually, I think the lizard Flegel sugar beet chopper trailer will take any crop as well. So I could swap out. I'm not sure what its weight capacity is. We just know what its volume is. Weight can be a problem. What are you doing? Dude, I want to go that way. Just meandering all over the place. There we go. He's good. And we put him here. And bringing stuff back to the store does give you a little bit extra in sale value. I could repaint it. I could repair it. We'll repair it. How about that? And we'll sell it. 46,000. Yes. Okay, so sold that. Now what I want to do is find a trailer. This thing. Set up standard. I really don't need to mess around with that. We're just going to lease it. It's not too expensive. And we can go on the tractor. Oh, turn the engine off. Don't turn the engine off. So obviously the logistics here is we'll grab the leased trailer. Oh, that's a little bit far forward. But yeah, we'll grab the beet trailer. We'll go load up with beets and ship them all to town. And obviously the last place we're going to be is in town, needing to get the tractor back to the farm. So at that point, we can pick up the Cedar Planter, whatever it is. Now, allegedly, I will turn on the help panel once we get into the onto the farm track. You can turn on and off the beet cutter, apparently. So once we're here, unload here, tip side back. So what happens if I change the tip side? Grain door, tip side cutter. So back is, it lifts the entire back end up. Grain door, there should be a little hatch under there, which slows down the tipping, and if it's an actual tipper as opposed to a rolling road, then it will tip lower. And then obviously the last one is cutter. It will cut sugar beets to cut sugar beets. So we'll do, well, let's just stick it on cutter for now. Get it loaded. So long driving. There we go. Now people can see us. It's December 1. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll transfer material or produce down to the store and stick it in the train grain silo. And then all I have to do is call the train in, unload it and sell it all in one go. But I can transfer it early. So if I think, it's December, it might snow. January, I've got a bunch of crop that might need to be sold in January. So if it's down at the train depot, I can just sell it at its best price, but I could ship it out there now while it's not snowing. I think maybe I'm a little bit too far out there. Still too far out. Oops. too close to the edge there. Let me see if we can get this thing loaded. Potatoes. No. Sugar beets, yes. Start. Little bit lopsided, and we can only transfer 17,000 sugar beets in this. So it's going to take a little bit more than 10 loads, unfortunately. So where's the best selling price? Is the next question. This says sugar beets sell best at Marshall, but Marshall has a 360 price. Sugar beets cut has a best price at the sell points by 10. So we could go to the bale sell point, just sell cut sugar beets. The only question would then be how, well, depending on my tipping options, it may adjust. Now, another consideration in past versions of FarmSim, as you tip stuff at a point, when you stop and start again, it can adjust the price downwards. So the only thing I can guarantee is that I will get $467 per litre for my first 17,600 litres. The price may drop at that one sell point, and this is a good day to do that test, which is why for things like sugar beets, I kind of prefer to stick them on the train. I might lose $10 per tonne, but per 1,000 litres, but they're all going to sell at that price. The value is not going to drop, but we'll see how this works. Obviously, I can't tip sugar beets at the bale sell point, so we'll be able to see if it does drop them anyway. Driving on the wrong side of the road, although this is a farm track, it really doesn't matter. Actually, it's probably a county road or something. Lots of roads like this around here in Michigan, where if the only thing down the road is a farm or a couple of cottages,